Morning everyone, welcome to a new topic. After half term I would like to have tests on topics 6 and 7 and therefore obviously the higher level content 16 and 17. So your work over half term is to prepare for those tests. I'm not quite sure what format I'll do those tests in yet, but there'll probably be some multiple choice and some structured questions as well. So, new topic, organic chemistry. Now in terms of where we are in the syllabus, in terms of theory, we are slightly ahead of where I would expect to be at this particular stage. I'd normally start organic chemistry probably a week or so after half term. However, we have got practical work to do to get us into a position or a stronger position for what we have to do when it comes to doing our IAs. By the way, if you haven't had a look on my website at the IA information, do feel free to have a look at that at some stage where you have a few minutes. Anyway, organic chemistry, here we go. Surprise, surprise, the introduction is where we're going to begin, and we start by looking at some important definitions. I'm not going to read through all these. You can get them off the presentation on Classroom. Some of them you'll have seen before, others you'll have not come across before, but they're all important definitions. Make sure you go away and learn them. Now this one that I'm stopping on here is something that you've almost certainly done before, but may not be familiar with all of the terminology. This structural formula here for pentane, where it shows all of the bonds, is also known as the displayed formula or graphical formula. Now in the exam, if you have to use these formulae, please do not miss out the hydrogen atoms, and a careless mistake a lot of people make is they just miss out the bonds between the carbons. So make sure you show, as it says, all of the atoms and the bonds between them. Now you can, in exams, use a condensed format. That is a perfectly acceptable condensed structural formula. Okay, you can see there you actually don't have to show the bonds in the condensed formula, but you still got to show all the hydrogens. And alternatively, you may even see that sort of thing written down from time to time. Now some of the formulas in the data book are called skeletal formulas, and they must not be used in an exam. The exception to that is benzene and cyclohexane, which we'll come across later. Okay, so structural isomers will be new to most of you. Structural isomers, not to be confused with isotopes, are compounds that have the same molecular formula but a different arrangement of atoms. So C4H10 can be arranged in two different ways. The first of them is just called butane. 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms gives you that bute start, and it's an alkane. You can tell it's an alkane because it's only got single bonds between the carbon atoms. It's saturated, so it's butane. That's one way of arranging the atoms. Here's the other. It's called 2-methylpropane. Now that bond isn't really longer than all the others, that's just drawn like that for convenience. But it's called propane because you've got 1, 2, 3 carbon atoms. Prop is the start for 3 carbon atoms. So propane. And then why 2-methyl? Well, this group here, like methane without one of the H's, is called a methyl group, and it's on the second carbon in the chain, so 2-methylpropane. You'll be doing plenty more work on how alkanes are named in the not too distant future. Now, functional group. Functional group is the key part of any organic molecule. It's the part that gives the organic compound its typical properties. It can be one atom or it can be a group of atoms. And what you need to make sure you can do is recognize all of the different types of functional group. And that's what I want you to spend time doing during the rest of this lesson. Okay, I'll put a link to a Quizlet on there for you, and you might even find a little Kahoot challenge to try, if I can find that. So watch out for the Quizlet worksheet and the separate presentation, please.